Hello everyone, today we'll take a look at 5 very scary videos. But before we begin, make sure to subscribe to my channel for more scary content. Alright, let's begin. Imagine coming home after a long day, pulling into your driveway, and noticing something across the street that immediately makes you stop and stare. That's exactly what happened to this woman, as shown in a TikTok video posted by user Little Miss Bella 3. The clip begins with her pulling into her driveway and stepping out of her car. As she locks the door, something catches her attention across the street and she just stands there watching. On the other side of the road, a person wearing what appears to be a headlamp can be seen moving around on all fours. Their movements are erratic and unnatural, almost animal-like, as they crawl and shift positions in a way that's difficult to make sense of. They continue behaving strangely for several moments, never acknowledging the person filming. At first glance, the way this figure moves feels deeply unsettling, like something pretending to be a human, but not quite getting it right. It could also just be a person acting oddly, possibly under the influence or simply behaving in a way that doesn't make much sense from the outside. But it's the unpredictability that makes this clip stick. There's no context or no explanation, just someone moving in a way you don't expect to see. A large number of children grow up with imaginary friends. It's a normal part of childhood and most parents don't think much of it. But sometimes things don't stay so innocent. This TikTok video was posted on January 27, 2026 by a man named Nicholas Ferrier. In it, he approaches his young daughter who appears to be talking to someone who isn't there. At first, it seems like a harmless moment. Then this happens. The girl begins calling out to her imaginary friend, asking it to push the stroller sitting nearby on the sidewalk. And just seconds later, the stroller starts moving. There's no one visible touching it. It simply begins rolling forward on its own as if something responded to her request. Moments like this are often interpreted as a child interacting with something unseen. The idea that imaginary friends might not always be imaginary. At the same time, there could be a simple explanation. The stroller may have been on a slight incline, causing it to roll naturally, or it could have been nudged just out of frame. It's also possible the scene was staged to line up with what the girl was saying. What makes the clip stand out is the timing. She asks, and almost immediately something happens. The next video we'll be looking at was posted to TikTok by a user known as Globalist Slayer USA on February 1, 2026 and shows a strange moment captured on a home security camera late at night. The footage shows a quiet backyard covered in snow. Right from the start, you can already see a series of footprints scattered across the ground. But then something even stranger happens. As the video continues, a new set of footprints begins to appear, forming one after another as if something invisible is actively walking through the yard. What makes it even more unusual is the spacing. These newer prints have a much wider gait, suggesting something significantly larger than a normal person. It's a subtle detail, but once you notice it, it completely changes how the clip feels. The upload even used the hashtag Bigfoot, suggesting they believe these tracks could belong to something far from ordinary. For those who believe, this could point to something unseen physically moving through the environment, leaving behind tracks without ever being visible. Another possibility is that whatever is making the footprints simply isn't being picked up properly by the camera, blending into the background due to lighting or recording limitations. It could also be the result of editing with the footprints added in afterward to create the illusion. It's the progression that stands out the most. Not just the footprints themselves, but the fact that new ones appear as if something is actively moving through the yard in real time. Over on TikTok, a woman known as Cat Snap posted a video explaining a strange and unsettling situation happening near her home. She says she lives by a river in an area with no lights at night, making it especially dark and quiet once the sun goes down. But according to her, that silence has been broken more than once. She then asks viewers to listen closely.
Freaked out by this.
From somewhere across the river, a series of loud, eerie singing and chanting sounds can be heard echoing through the darkness. The voices don't sound close, but they're clear enough to feel uncomfortably present. It's the kind of noise that doesn't immediately make sense. Rhythmic, almost coordinated, and completely out of place in such an isolated area. What makes this even stranger is that this wasn't a one-time occurrence. In the description, she explains that this is the third time in 2 years that she has heard these sounds near her property. In a follow-up video, she responds to someone suggesting it might just be people nearby. She acknowledges that others do live along the river in California, but insists that whoever is making the noise is doing so late at night, and for a reason she can't explain. The whole situation gives the impression of something happening just out of sight, close enough to hear, but far enough to remain hidden. Of course, there could be a more ordinary explanation. The voices may simply be coming from people gathered somewhere along the riverbank with sound carrying unusually well over the water at night. But even with that in mind, hearing distant chanting echo through a dark, unlit area like that is the kind of thing that's hard to ignore once you've experienced it. A woman named Sarah Serendipity posted a video to her TikTok account on March 12, 2026, describing a moment that left her deeply unsettled. According to Sarah, she had a strong feeling that she was being watched one night. Unable to shake the feeling, she decided to pull out her phone and start recording just in case. It didn't take long for that feeling to be validated. As you can see, what appear to be handprints and even a face impression suddenly become visible on the window. The marks look pressed into the glass as if something was right there watching from the other side. The detail is what makes it so disturbing. It doesn't just look random. It resembles something with form, something close. It's easy to interpret this as an unseen presence revealing itself in a physical way, leaving behind traces of where it had been standing. At the same time, there could be a more ordinary explanation. Residue, condensation, or oils on the glass can sometimes reveal prints that weren't visible before, especially with changes in temperature or lighting. Even so, the timing is what makes this moment stand out. Feeling like you're being watched and then seeing something appear that seems to confirm it is the kind of experience that lingers long after the moment passes. And that was 5 scary videos. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, then subscribe for more scary content. See you all in the next video.